This feeling is really one of the best in CSGO, when you throw yourself a really good flash and you get kills because of it. Oh, it feels good, especially when it's something that you made up, you created. Oh man, I love that. And so this is a video not showcasing a billion different pop flashes for you to use. I'm gonna use a bunch of examples, but I'm gonna talk about what goes into effective pop flashes. I'm gonna go over 5 things that you should think about when you're using pop flashes. So the first type of flash we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna call it the bank and swing. It's kind of corny, but we'll rock with it, huh? Now this is a type of pop flash used in pretty much every match of CSGO ever. It is incredibly important and it's super simple, but I want to stress you can get so creative with it and you should start practicing using more of these. So what you're going to do, you're going to use any piece of cover, any wall, bank a flash and swing with it. Now you don't have to swing with it like the name suggests, but what it does is that it puts your enemy in this really awkward situation where that flash comes out. They're standing here. They have to make the decision whether they're going to stand here and wait for you to swing before the flash pops, or if they're going to turn the flash, hoping that you wait for the flash to pop before you swing, and then they're going to turn around and fight. I hope that made sense. So regardless of what decision they make, it puts you in a really good spot where your enemy gets kind of flustered. They kind of panic, right? I mean, when you're in that situation, it's kind of scary. You don't know what to do. So even if things line up, even if they make the right decision, it's still a favorable gunfight for you. Now you can get really creative with these. I mean, even in the same situation, I can bank one against Con here, swing with that. Another one I see a lot is from stairs, just shift walk, toss one, boom, swing with that. And it's also great if you're kind of stuck somewhere, right? So let's say somebody's holding me from stairs or jungle close here. I can come up close to this wall, bank a flash, swing with that, and that puts me in a much better spot for this fight rather than if I just try to fight this dry. So now let's jump from map to map. We're going to look at some other examples of this just to give you more ideas, but the big point here is to be creative. Jump into practice maps and just mess around with different flashes like this that you can use in game on the fly. Here on Nuke, let's do a couple. If somebody's towards hell, bank one, boom, you're swinging. You're the mini player and the T's are rushing, lots of times you're going to get smoked off, right? Bank a flash, swing with it. You can mow them down. You just got to be careful with this one because you can really blind your team, so make sure they know that you're doing this. Another one for the mini players, if you hear a lot of people outside, just bank one against here. Boom, you're swinging off of that flash, right? Now these flashes aren't like the most amazing, beautiful flashes ever. They're just simple, easy, and you can come up with so many. Now we're on Inferno, and this flash, guys, is truly near and dear to my heart because it was my first video I ever made was about this flash, and that's the self flash on Inferno where you run up, you aim at the window, boom, and you swing off of that. Another one, if you're towards A site, you can just drop a flash there, boom, you're swinging lane with it. And then here's one you're gonna see a lot is in CT. If somebody gets smoked off CT, drop a flash there, boom, swinging with that, pushing the smoke, man. All of these are just super effective, super clean. You know, they're not perfect. No play in CSGO is perfect, but they help. Now, I don't have a cute little nickname for the second kind of flash, and if you want to come up with one in the comments, go for it. Essentially what it is, it's great for rushing. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click left and right at the same time, look up slightly diagonal and way above you, and run through that, John. And you're swinging with that. So look at the trajectory of that. That's a perfect flash that I would want my teammate like from Cat to throw me if I was swinging mid, right? It's gonna pop behind you and it's super easy to swing with. Boom. And again, you can get really creative with when you want to use this. You can toss it above the palm trees, swing with that. You can even just stand still, toss a left and right one behind you like that. And that's just gonna float up nicely right above you and pop not too high to the point where people aren't really blind, but high enough where it's really awkward to avoid. Now this is one I love to do on overpass when I'm about to peek mid. I come up, left and right click high behind me. That's gonna pop above the hedges and I'm swinging with that. It also works as a self flash if you wanna come out long, boom. Maybe you're coming out long to sight, double click, run, throw, boom, you're swinging. Where I use this flash a lot is if I'm pushing outside, I'll double click, toss it, I'm swinging, boom, I'm here. Now the third thing here isn't really like a type of flash, but it's a core tenet about flashes, and that is flashes need to be wide. What I mean by this is that if we look at this CT's POV, he's looking down lane, he's got a little angle into mid. So if I try to pop a flash somewhere in mid where he's going to be able to see it, it's going to be kind of awkward. I mean, that one worked, but a much more effective flash is one closer to him and wide. right? That one's super awkward for him to avoid. So if he's standing here and if he wants to avoid this flash, he has to completely turn away from it, right? But if the flash is close to the angle that he's playing, close to this line, all he has to do is just step back into cover to avoid it, right? But with flashes wide, they have to fully turn and get out of cover because they're turned, they can't fight mid. So that flash is going to be way more effective. And another good example of this is somebody holding corner here on B. So if I try to throw a flash for somebody holding this line, right? They're holding this angle, and I try to throw it like right on the angle. I'm trying to think of how, like above the wall, boom, like right there. Yes, that would blind them, right? They're holding here, but all they have to do is just boom, hide a little bit and then peek out again, right? But if you throw a wide flash here like that, boom, this is way more awkward for them to turn, right? They can't just hide behind a wall real quick and then swing back out. They have to fully turn away from it and then swing back out. So it just gives you a better chance in the fight. It doesn't allow them to quickly boom, boom, right? They can't time the flash perfectly like that. When it's wide, they have to full turn around and you're making space, you're pushing up, and you can catch them off guard. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is flashing for teammates. And a good rule for flashing your teammates is high and behind, right? So if somebody's new box, my teammate's new box, he says, if you have flash for me, they're coming out B and I'm CT, I can just run through, toss a flash high and behind them like that. Doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be beautiful, it's just something that they can swing off of, and they don't have to be like perfectly timing it to swing off of it or else they're blind. You get what I mean? So if I'm a T and I'm here, he's hiding behind new box, that flash comes out. Oh no, I'm blind, then he can swing. Or he can even swing before it pops because it's not going to blind him. It's high and behind him. Now, another place where I really like to throw these flashes is outside on nuke, right? If somebody's red, I can just jump throw a flash high and behind him. I can run throw it. Just be loosey-goosey. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to give your friend a quick little chance, right? It has to blind the enemies or at least make them turn, and it's going to give them help in the fight. Now, the fifth and final thing I'm going to talk about pop flashes is that you should be using the cover you have as kind of a wall between you and your flash. And what I mean by this, I'm going to illustrate it by example. So on overpass, you can come in here and you can just toss a flash up and above like that, and you can swing with it, right? You're not going to be blinded at all, but everybody who's holding you, oh, that flash is right in front of them, and you can swing with it. Now we're back on Mirage. It always comes back to Mirage, doesn't it? You're playing behind default, you can just walk, right click, throw a flash in front of default and swing off of that, right? Use the cover in front of you as a wall between you and the flash and swing behind it. Another great example is on nuke A side. If somebody's pushing you from mini or from squeak, you can just right click a flash through there, or you can toss one against the wall and use the cover in front of you as cover from your own flash and swing with it. Same goes for B side. You can bank one off of this box, boom, you're swinging with it. And a big part of pop flashes is peeking, so go watch my peeking video. I love it, it's my baby. I hope you have an amazing day. Go join my Discord, god damn it. Have a good one.